Oh, it's going to be the best show ever. I can't wait.
Welcome to episode 475 of the Nintendo Powercast. One of your hosts, N64 Josh. Cheesy, what's up, man?
You guys hear that? It's quiet. What's going on, Cheese Girds?
Crawler, what's going on? Holding your microphone tonight because your arm hasn't shown up yet.
Hey, how's it going? Crawl coming at you. Yeah, I've been. It's been a week. I've been tearing my basement apart and redoing my desk. And that came with getting a new mic arm because my other arm was kind of crap and also didn't fit in with this aesthetic or the layout that I got going. So waiting on Elgato. It's coming tomorrow. That's what they told me. So I'm holding it tonight. So we'll see how it goes.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Well, you did happen to go through my my link, which is n64josh.com/Elgato, and they informed me this week that if you use code ZZ-N64Josh, you can save, I think it's 5%. You guys you'll have to let me know what the discount code is exactly, because they just said, here it is. And I'm like, thanks for all the information, but I know there is a small discount tied to it. So n64josh.com/Elgato. I'm currently rocking the mic arm that Crawler's talking about, and the Wave XLR. There's so much stuff. And if you guys have any questions about any of the gear, you're wondering like what do I need, or what would be great to add to my my setup, hit me up in the Discord, hit me up anywhere, leave a comment somewhere. I will gladly let you know.
Keylight Mini, multi-mount, cam link,
Yes.
capture card, pedal, Stream Deck. What else do we got?
No, there's so many tools that make life so much easier thanks to Elgato. So I do want to say what's up to the live chat. We got Joey and Cece, Evan, and Uncle Jeeb. What's going on, everybody? I know there are some lurkers as well. So welcome on in. So good to see you. It's going to be a fun show, but before we jump into it, Cheesy, where can people connect with you?
You can find me on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Communication Error Podcast, CheezyC64, CheezyC64.
And Crawler.
Best spots are TikTok and Twitter, Nightcrawler724. Nightcrawlers without the E.
There we go. Well, we've been talking, the beginning of the show, like what we've been playing a little bit, like any recommendations. I'm going to be completely honest. My days have been full of not the most fun things. So there's not been a ton of gaming, but there has been some. We, the other night we got everybody together, and we had 9 of us. Okay. And we were trying to play Mario Kart, all 9 of us. Some Switches don't have online on them. Some are like the home console.
Is this all of your just personal Switches that you have in your house?
It was, there was a few, actually, yes. Yeah. Yes. So, but I mean, each of my daughters have one. Their friend Grace has one. Then my son's girlfriend had to use. Yeah. Anyway, so it was just the way we did it, because you can only do 8 players if you do wireless, but you can do 12 if you do online. So we were able to get, because what would happen on wireless too, when you're using somebody else's home console, it kicks you offline. Therefore, you can't play the downloaded game. So we were able to get all 9 of us. Here's what I found out, you guys. My little brother is like a closet Mario Kart player, and he loves 200cc. Like, I was totally shocked. Like,
a true player then.
I was like, whoa, like what's up with this? So
he's been watching your TikToks.
I maybe I don't know. He just really shocked me because we sat down at his house and like we had to play with. First of all, this guy has absolutely decimated his Joy-Con. Like, like he's only
don't play on your Joy-Con. Don't do that to them. That's mean.
Only used Joy-Con. I'm talking. There's barely any rubber left on the left Joy-Con. Like he's going he's going hard on his Switch. And I mean he loved Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom and Skyrim. But then he plays Mario Kart all the time. So so that was super fun. We got everybody playing. It really kind of took everybody's mind off of things for a little bit, and just it was nice. It was like a little bit of normalcy, which is very good.
So how many physical copies of Mario Kart did you have sitting out on the table then for everybody to come pick up?
The funny thing is there was only one that needed to be moved. I had to pull it out of my Switch Lite because my daughter's like, I don't know where my Mario Kart is, and I didn't lose it, and I was like, no, I have it. So, because I have purchased a handful of digital copies just because that was like everybody's kind of go-to game. So, it ended up working out. We had just the right amount for nine people to play, and we did split screen on the TV, and then everybody else just was handheld, and so. It was a good time, but other than that, I wanted to get more into some Vampire Survivors. Like,
have you downloaded Hunters yet?
I had it downloaded before the game released, but I just haven't. I haven't even fired it up as much as I want to, and I haven't played any more Paper Mario, which I want to get into more of that as well because I was enjoying that one. So, but that'll come in time. It'll come in time, no question. But as far as non-Nintendo gaming, I did play some Warzone Mobile with one of the devices that is on my TikTok shop, and
beating up on the.
Oh my goodness!
Like the touchscreen players.
Yeah, just absolutely wrecking with that. So that's always a good time.
Is that the version of Call of Duty we're gonna get on Switch?
I mean, that seems the most likely, but I don't even know if the Switch could run it because you're talking it's running 120. Like it took an extra 5 minutes to download assets. Like when you start once
most big mobile games like that are the initial download from the App Store is nothing, and then you get into it and it's like update. I think Unite does that too, even on the Switch.
Well, and this one was specifically for like a graphical upgrade. Like it was like here's the texture packs.
You're on the M2 chip on your Apple device. We're gonna upgrade you, kind of deal.
Yes, yeah. So, so that. But again, that was like 2 matches, and then I haven't really done much other than that. But Cheesy, how about you? What have you been playing?
Well, since John Evo isn't here, I feel like we need to have a hot take. So I'll put it out there. I think Paper Mario, Thousand Year Door is a little overhyped. It's fun. Like it's charming.
Did you beat it?
No, I am in chapter 5, or I'm about to start chapter 5. The pacing of it though is just it slogs a lot. Like it does have a lot of character. I understand it's an RPG, so there is a lot of stop and go. Like I'm fine with that. I just felt like the second chapter is really tedious, just going back and forth through these pipes to figure out where you need to take these punies and defeat the other things. But then chapter 3, I don't know if you guys know, but you guys haven't played it, so you don't know.
I'm right at I've gotten to the Sky Village or whatever it is, wherever it is. I've gotten there. I haven't started anything yet. And then Hunters came out, and then I haven't really played all this week because I've been rearranging stuff downstairs.
So to sum it up for you, chapter 5 or chapter 3 is like a wrestling match, and they like set it up where you're going to be like the top competitor and fight the person who's in first to get the star. So you have to go to a locker room because you're in the minor leagues and you have to work your way up. And then you sign up on this Game Boy Advance. It's pretty cute. They have like a video that pops up, but you have to hit the Game Boy Advance to set up the next fight. And then you go to the ring and then you fight. After you win that fight, you go back to the locker room. You sign up on the Game Boy Advance. You go to the ring. You fight. You go back to the locker room. And then you go back to the ring and you fight. You go back to the locker room, but now there's like an investigation, like some kind of mystery that's happening. And so you kind of are figuring that out. And they only like spoon feed you just a little bit of information. And then you go back into the ring and fight. But before you can go back to the ring and fight, you have to go back into the locker room to sign up on the Game Boy Advance. Like that whole chapter.
You're just explaining RPGs because you do that exact same thing in Final Fantasy VII too. And then you fight a house. You fight a house too.
I don't know. Why does Cheesy hate fun? I love fun. I just don't understand why people have liked Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door for so long. I will say the 4th chapter did get better. And I'm looking forward to the 5th chapter, and I want to play it all the way through to see if my opinion changes. But right now, it feels more like a chore than it. I'm having fun with it. So I've been playing Paper Mario, and then I kind of got
reluctantly.
Yeah. Well, I want to beat it before Luigi's Mansion 2 comes out. And I know that that's not like the best Luigi's Mansion game out of the other two, but it's still all right.
Was that on the 21st, right? Is that
27th?
Oh,
right?
a week later than what I thought then.
Yeah, because it's on a Thursday. So what is that?
Yeah, that's
27th.
The new release cadence is Thursdays.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know. I did play the Big Run this past weekend, which was a lot of fun. Fighting all 3 King Salmonid at one time. Like if you got to that opportunity, because you have to go past wave 3 and then.
And that's only after you've earned enough points to trigger a boss. Somebody in your party has to have enough. I only did like 1 or 2 runs, I think, and I didn't get to that. But
yeah. So I mean that was pretty fun, but I did catch kind of the Splatoon bug again. Been playing it a little more. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've been playing. I think I'm going to go back into Animal Well and see what other puzzles I can find or figure out. That's pretty much it. What about you, Crawler?
I played a lot of Hunters last week. I logged in enough to get my 7-day bonus. I've been playing stuff, trying to earn different free stuff. Every time you log in, it tries to sell you something. But I just click through it and kind of have just been enjoying what I've been playing. But then, like I said, I fell off on a lot of stuff this week. I do my daily knits, getting my daily puzzles in on Stitch.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just kind of a before bed kind of activity on my upstairs Switch. And then, yeah, I've kind of like Hunters came out and I kind of fell off Paper Mario a little bit. So I definitely need to get back into that. I did, like I said, 1 or 2 big run attempts, and I don't think got very far. I haven't even logged in to see what kind of have they given out rewards yet for that.
Yeah.
Often
I think so.
Log in and see whatever. I saw something in a newsletter, I think, talking about Big Run, but I haven't read that yet either. But yeah, and then I was a silly goose and bought a $220 DLC collector's edition for
Hunter?
What's it called for Elden Ring coming out here in 2 weeks. So that'll be coming from Bandai Namco here pretty soon because you had to buy it through their website or whatever. So that'll be another statue to go next to my Melania that I don't have up yet, but I have more shelf space, so maybe I'll get them up. But that's kind of almost what I need to get my consoles hooked back up and get my. I don't even think I have it downloaded right now on Play. What I need to do is I need to go buy a 2 terabyte SSD for my PlayStation so I can stop moving games back and forth. But yeah.
Well, chat, we want you guys to help with this next topic. We're going to be talking about the series that people should not miss, or what they should be playing during this slow time with Nintendo. So, with things being a little bit slower, we want to know, what are some of your top picks, or what is in your backlog that you're like, I need to get back to this. Now, Crawler and I both have significant backlogs. Cheesy, not
Plays and beats games.
Yeah, he buys a game and he beats it typically, right? So,
and Cryptic's calling me out for Nintendo's bad website as well, saying I can buy the Elden Ring Collector's Edition, but I'm not committed enough for the Xenoblade 3 Collector's Edition. And I tried, I don't know how many times, how many different mornings at because that was what, a failed attempt, right? And then it crashed the website, and then they relaunched it another time, right? I think I tried 2 or 3 times on whatever launch cycles they did. That was Nintendo's fault. That wasn't my fault.
There you go. Yeah. Still stings, right?
Yep.
So I'm going to preface this a little bit. I mentioned earlier in the show that my brother was here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that night I handed him 4 games to take home. Mario Tennis Aces. Okay. Now, he was a pretty big Super Nintendo and Nintendo 64 gamer. So he got a lot of nostalgia towards the sports series. So he was like, is there golf? I loved Mario Golf. Like, is there golf? So I gave him Super Rush also. So he took a copy of Aces and a copy of Super Rush.
Had he played World Tour at all?
No. Okay.
No.
He had not gamed
maybe
since 64.
So maybe that's not as bad, coming from the mindset that they took a step backwards then.
I told him about the shtick, right? The running around, smashing into each other, that kind of stuff. And then, but just told him if he's looking for just regular old golf, it's still a pretty stellar title. Like it holds up well if you just want to play it like a standard Mario Golf. And then we talked about Strikers for a little bit, but he had never played Odyssey. So I put Mario Odyssey in that, I had like a little, it holds 4 games, just this little plastic container. But the next one was not Nintendo, and I saw Lacey Pacey go, wait, does it have to be Nintendo games? No. Guys, it doesn't, preferably Switch games just because of the nature of the show. But, she said because Baldur's Gate 3. So, so that's I mean, you may be a multi-console household or PC or whatever, so you got some of those options. So so by all means mention what you'd like. But the other game I gave him that I know he had never played and I have a feeling he's going to thoroughly enjoy, BioShock. You kind of forget those games. Some of there's some
how does the water look on that on Switch though?
So I beat BioShock the first one on Switch, and it didn't. I mean, because it's an Xbox 360 game, it didn't look too different.
But that was revolutionary back then. Was all that opening cutscene on the surface of the lighthouse and the water, and then yeah. But it wasn't super. I do remember you streamed, I think, the whole game.
Yeah.
It wasn't as muddy as Doom 2016 or whatever.
No. Yeah,
that's good.
No, because like I said, it was a 360 game, not a Xbox One game. So, or PS4, and so it did well. It ran well. But I have a feeling he's going to fall in love with that series. So, for me personally, I'll let you guys think a little bit longer. The games that I really, really, really want to get back to, there's plenty of first party stuff. Don't get me wrong. I have been jonesing to play through Metroid Prime again. I want to get through that. I really, really want to sit.
Johnny just got back into that too.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. But then I've got plenty to do with the Xenoblade series. And I saw somebody else, Crimpus looks like, mentioned Xenoblade. So those are those are some that I cannot wait to get back. And I love 2 so much. And so I want to not only complete Torna, I need to find a physical copy of Torna as well, because I never ended up picking it physically. I just got it.
I ended up
digitally,
having
so.
I think there was a company in Canada that like was doing reprints of Torna. I bought it. I think it's sealed sitting behind me here somewhere.
Nice.
But yeah.
Yeah. So I'd like to get that in the collection. But yeah, so that Xenoblade is where I'm gonna start. And I'm gonna say if you're a fan of RPGs and you've never played Xenoblade, do not, even if you're like me and like you've played very few JRPGs, like if Pokemon is kind of your like all you've played, just don't be like me and skip everything. Like pay attention.
Yeah, Josh's
Take your time.
JRPGs are Pokemon Yellow and Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
And like a quarter of the way into Octopath Traveler and probably a third of the way into Final Fantasy VII. I don't know. I've done a few other RPGs that have come out on the Switch, but
Did you guys ever play Live Alive?
no, I have it though. I bought it, but it never got.
I think I got through. I think I stalled out on like the ninja one. It was kind of slow, and I was hesitant to look up what I needed to do, but I'm like standing outside a wall or something like that. I need to figure it out, but I did do like 3, I think, of the stories. I need to get back into that because yeah, you powered through that one and you really enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
I'll piggyback on top of your Xenoblade, Josh, because I did go back a little while ago and I finished 3, but I have the DLC that I want to do, which I think wraps kind of everything up between all 3 games pretty well, at least from what I've heard. And then I have definitive Xenoblade 1 that I don't even know where I am that I stalled out on that I would like to get back into and finish that as well. So definitely some of the backlog that I have that I'm going to mention, like, because I have the pixel collection for Final Fantasy as well. So like Final Fantasies 1 through 6 that I could sit down and play. Live Alive. A lot of them that I kind of just bounced off on, like Triangle Strategy and Octopath 2, I thought was a lot better than. I was kind of enjoying it more than Octopath 1 a little bit, but I might have gotten to a spot in Octopath 1 that I was just stuck into a boss fight that was kind of challenging. But there's a lot of long games that are worth, probably trying to get back into. Also, with the expectation that Silksong might be coming here sometime, I have enough platforms that have Hollow Knight on it that I would like to go do a fresh run somewhere through, like on Xbox, and get achievements or something like that I haven't done, because I did beat both endings or whatever on Switch. So just kind of going through and achievement hunting, I guess, Hollow Knight sometime here before Silksong comes out.
Do you think Silksong is coming out this year?
If it's going to come out, we're gonna. I think if we're gonna see it, it's going to be announced in whatever Nintendo Direct we get in June, and I think there'll be a announcement shortly thereafter by Xbox saying playable on day 1 on Game Pass, yada yada yada. I think it'll be on all platforms. I don't know if they have any kind of deal worked out with PlayStation Plus or whatever, those different tiers of whatever they have, if it's going to be on there. But it is supposed to be a title that's day 1 in Game Pass. I think they've had advertising kind of opportunities through the Xbox show. Was that last year? Was that 2022? I don't remember.
For
that
what?
Showed Silksong coming to.
Oh, that was like 2020.
No. It was one.
Are you talking about the Xbox one?
Whatever Xbox show that said coming out.
Yeah.
All these titles would be out in the next year, and then that.
Oh
that
yeah,
happen.
2022.
Jeez. Okay, it's been 2 years now. But I think it has a chance. I mean, because it was I think pretty successful on Switch. I mean, so if we're gonna see it, maybe it is gonna be this year. But otherwise, I don't know when it would kind of have an opportunity. And I mean, that would help the internet calm down on any other live stream for any event, because that's what dominates anything in the chats on anything. I didn't watch Summer Game Fest live or anything like that to see what the chat was doing, to see how crazy it was, but they were probably clamoring for that. But
never have the chat on during a game presentation. Just ignore it.
I want to get to the chat a little bit. Jenna was asking about Xenoblade, and I love this comment. It says, "Not turn-based scares me a little. I don't mind RPG, but only the fact that it is turn-based, so it's not as stressful." The nice thing with Xenoblade is it auto attacks. Mm-hmm. You are basically, while your character is attacking and you're moving around a little bit, it's more about like picking what your next move is. It's more about the strategy behind
physically positioning yourself as well, because some attacks do better from the side or from the back. So it's physically positioning yourself. There's like 3 different, there's the support, there's the healer, and or there's the attack, the healer, and the tank. And you can kind of choose what role you want to play. I'm basic, and I just go for attack because that's the easiest way to kind of guarantee the pacing of it a little bit, and just rely on the good faith of the AI to heal you when you need to.
I want to grab another one from the chat here. Let's see. I gotta scroll up just a bit. But I love what Daisy said here. Mario Kart, Animal Crossing, and Super Nintendo Zelda. And so the what got me thinking when she said that is like, take this time to utilize NSO. Somebody else said it as well. Like Joey here said, but seriously, if you're talking backlog, I've never played a Zelda game. Like I've got NSO, but what 3 Zelda games would you recommend a noob to start?
Link to the Past. Do it.
Wait, let's do this real quick. Let's do the top 3. So I'm with you. I would say Link to the Past. Right? My next would be Ocarina.
Yeah.
And then
I would say, if you have and this is in an ideal world, if you have a 3DS, play Ocarina there. I'm
with Servant, Minish Cap.
Yeah, that'd probably be the third.
It plays better there, yeah. Yeah, and I mean, if you in ideal world, if you have a 3DS, play Link Between Worlds, or is that what it's called?
Yeah, Link Between Worlds is the. But hopefully if you're just talking,
hopefully we get an online kind of way to play that through NSO.
If you're just talking NSO, though, I would say, and I can't say Majora's only because I haven't played it, so I'm not saying that it's bad. Some people really love it, and I know some people don't care for it as much. But Link to the Past, Ocarina, and from what I've played of Minish Cap, I've adored, right? And then if you are still got the bug, go back and play the very first one. It's a little.
Didn't they add Awakening to GBA as well?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you can go back and play the original kind of the second iteration of it on for Game Boy Color, because I think it's got the color.
But then how much is the remake? Is it 50 or 60?
60.
Is it?
Checks out. Dumb question.
So, but yeah, I mean that's a great question, and I would say, like, Cryptic saying is a remake or classic. Like, either one are going to be a good time. But I loved that remake. That remake felt like I was playing a modern, like, and I just love the aesthetic of it and everything. So,
I think if you like Breath of the Wild, or you're wanting to try Breath of the Wild, obviously do it. But if you're wanting to not pay anything that is close to Breath of the Wild, go play the original Zelda.
Because that's about getting lost and exploring. Yeah,
you have no idea what you're doing, and then
if
when you do figure something out,
and if you hate yourself, go play Link 2 or Zelda 2, Link's Adventure, or whatever it's called.
The funny thing about that game is a lot of people that go back and play it now end up really liking it. Like Jay from Nintendo Quest, if you ask him what his favorite Zelda game is, he'll say Link's.
Well, you
Link's
don't have to hate
Adventure.
yourself as much now because you got save states.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely helps. It definitely helps. So, Cheesy, with the list, would that be an accurate list for you? Link to the Past, Ocarina, and Minish.
Yeah, I think so. I'm with Crawler though. If you're gonna play Ocarina, definitely play it on a 3DS if you have the option to. But the fact that you can just play it for free with the online subscription is still like a really great game.
And one of the things that we know is coming up that's not going to be backlog is the Nintendo World Championship, 1990, and there's going to be some fun to be had there. Like I talked about it some last week, and the older games that you're going to have to be like, who can get the mushroom the fastest? Like, I have a feeling like we're going to be able to compete. Like, what I'm excited for potentially is that we as a community could be like, all right, guys, whoever gets the best time, like, I'm not sure the leaderboards will be friends or how it's going to all work out, but I'm hoping even if everybody just posts their time in the Discord, or I might put a post up on n64josh.com and then people can put their times in the comments or something along those lines. Like, I have a feeling we're going to be able to utilize that as a community game, which will be very fun. I love the idea there. So, but Cheesy, how about you? What are some of your picks for like, and I mean you personally, like what are you considering going back into any series or any games that you missed that you're like, yeah, I want to explore this one.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Right now, like gaming is just kind of taking a backseat for me. Like, I don't know if it's just because we have slow news with Nintendo. Maybe that will like pick up again. But also with me like being a dad soon, like I still got time, but there's a lot that's like, I don't know. I feel like I need to focus on this, or I need to get this done, or, it's hard to start something. I did start Yoshi's Island. Yoshi's Store. Which one is the Super NES?
Super Mario 2? Is that Super Mario World 2? Yoshi's Island?
Okay. So I did start that, and I was on World 4. So I do need to go back and beat that because I just have never played it. But yeah, kind of what you were saying is like there's just a ton of games on NSO that we need to be taking advantage of. Like we say it's a slow time right now, and it is, but there's definitely a lot that we can be playing. I would love to play like Xenoblade or Fire Emblem. The only problem that I have is like I want to start from the beginning, and maybe I don't necessarily need to, but I still would like to know like the full lore of the game. And if I talk to somebody who is like really into Xenoblade or Fire Emblem, maybe it's not necessary, right?
So Josh and I both had not played Xenoblade 1. We own it now and have played some of it. Both of us haven't finished it, but we jumped in to Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and it has callbacks to the original, and people that have played it can...
Correction, I owned one on Wii and on 3DS.
You didn't play
and
it.
X on Wii U, and I never played any of them.
I have X on Wii U too, but yeah, that's a little bit different too. But there's like callbacks to it, but it's its own story. And I mean, Josh and I got a lot out of like 2. That was kind of how I got deeply involved in this community. Was I was staying a chapter or 2 ahead of Josh and trolling him a little bit on his streams, and I mean, he fought a wall for like 3 or 4 days. So
I was like, not a high enough level. Time to go level more. And then, but I didn't learn one of the mechanics of the game. And once I learned it, I was like, yo, this is so, like, honestly, during this time, I wouldn't be surprised if I find myself even going back to that second game, because I just loved it so much. And the mechanics of the way you essentially build moves on top of each other to power up, it's the gameplay is incredibly satisfying, and the story, I'm so glad I'm at the point now that like all I can remember about the story is that I loved it, and
Mhm.
I know some of the major like plot points; those won't go away. But there's a lot of just the stuff along the way that I'd be like, oh, I forgot about this, and so, um, yeah,
Yeah,
I
there's a lot
can't
of
recommend it
biblical
enough.
undertones to it as well.
Okay. Yeah, I'll check it out. I saw somebody mention Shovel Knight, and I've never played that series.
Okay, absolutely, yes. That's a 100% go and play that game. Like, the reason I say that, as a kid, I wasn't allowed to have Zelda because it had magic in it,
Mm-hmm.
but I could play DuckTales. And although most people compare Shovel Knight to it's funny, The Adventures of Link, because of the sword move, you did the same thing with Scrooge McDuck
Mm-hmm.
in DuckTales. And when I played Shovel Knight, I was like, yo, this is like going back and playing DuckTales. And DuckTales was like what's funny is I almost forget about it at times because Turtles kind of overtook it for me when I got the arcade game. That was the game that I could start over. Like it didn't. I did the same thing with DuckTales. I got so like I don't think we were realizing at the time back in the 80s that we were like speed running. Like it wasn't really a thing, but like I would fly through DuckTales and I loved it. And so
Which 6 years later, why are we still asking for Disney Afternoon Collection to come to Switch, and
Yeah.
why hasn't it?
yeah, so strange.
Because that's like a $5. I bought it for $5 or whatever on Xbox. I have it on Xbox, but I would much rather play it with my SNES controller on Switch.
So real quick, while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to give everybody homework. I'll put a post up on n64josh.com, but I want, and the hosts included, right? Chat included, put together your top 10 NSO games, and we can talk about those next week to see which NSO games because we all get excited for about 5 minutes when the tweet comes out. We update, we play for about 2, and then we don't typically go back to those games.
Yeah. And now all the Mega Mens are there pretty much.
There is a that is an that Game Boy is where my first memories of Kirby and Mega Man really are. Like I didn't play much Mega Man on the NES. It was mostly on Game Boy until Super Nintendo. Then that changed. So NSO and expansion, yes, all of the above. Maybe I don't know. Maybe we do this in segments. Maybe we do our top 10 NES and then our top 10 like because there's so many, right? Like
I think isn't that the problem? Why like we only give it like 5 minutes of playtime is because it just doesn't hold our attention the way that like games do today. Like there are great games out there that people just aren't giving a chance, but also some of the games that people did love just don't play very well.
Well, you just ran into that with Paper Mario.
And you had to love it because you got a game at Christmas and you got a game at your birthday.
Yeah.
And you best not talk back to your parents and say this is a crap game because they wouldn't buy another one. And it was a lucky weekend if you got to go to Blockbuster and pick out a game to rent.
Yeah.
But then you better not make a bad decision. Like I'd have to give it another try. But like Blast Corps, I never enjoyed Blast Corps. But like I don't know. I mean, it's on Rare Replay. I have it kind of, and it's on NSO too.
What you're saying is the 10 games that everybody picks out, they can't complain about it. They can't return it. They just have to love it for what it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let me do a quick chat. You guys can help me out. But we've got NES, Super Nintendo,
Genesis,
Game Boy Advance, and
64.
So let's do instead of 10, let's do 15. That way we can get at least 2 from each. And then it gives a couple extra if you want to look at it that way. You don't have to do it that way if you don't want to, but I'm just thinking like
at least come with a few titles.
Yeah, try to balance it out a little bit.
Yeah, so that you can kind of get your kind of play like a top 5 for each category. Yeah, maybe something like that. That'd be like what, like 30 games, like your top 30, but something along those lines. Like we'll start with this, and if we have fun with it, we can continue doing it, like and dig in deeper. But because there are some fantastic games there that like I know firsthand I could lose myself in A Link to the Past again, like no question. Super Mario World I've actually beat on NSO, like not it's not 100%ed yet, but I did complete it. And so there are some, and I mean you've got Mario Kart titles on there. Like I don't know, we're gonna have some fun with it. At one point we were doing like we still got pipe trials going on. I've got to get the tracks back up. It's just been a we'll get that going, but we might do time trials in some of the older, like bust out Super Circuit and make everybody endure some of those tracks, like, or what'll happen in pipe trials if it's a retro course, I'll say if you've got NSO, go ahead and throw your time trial on that game in there as well. Just
how much slower is it on those older?
Oh, it's crazy. I mean, think about Rainbow Road on 64.
Yeah,
like
you had to go around it 3 times.
6 minutes.
Unless you could jump. Unless you could jump.
Yeah, but it takes it's barely a minute and a half now with the new game, and it's like, why isn't this 3 laps? It would have been a tad longer than most races, but it would have been perfect. Like it would have been great.
Yeah, they're shooting for that ideal 3 minutes. Every course is 3 minutes. That's what it is.
Yeah, and they had it with that one, and then they chose to make it laps, and it was just like, no, don't do this. So, Cryptic mentioned Super Metroid. Yeah, if you've never played Super Metroid, and if you just like stop whatever you're doing and go play Super Metroid, it's in my top 5 games of all time. So.
Do you still play Mario 2 every year?
Yeah. It's been, and maybe it's probably been. I don't think I got to it last year, but. When I say that, like, I don't necessarily always play it completely through, but I guarantee I always play, because I have to at least play. It's the music in the first section that always makes me think of my friend. So, like, I have to hear that music. It just always a good reminder. So, Joey says the Donkey Kong Country trilogy. This is going to be fun, you guys. I know everybody's going to be bringing some different games next week. So, yeah. So, like I said, top 15. Is what we'll start with, and just because that'll make for
And how much of all of this is Johnny gonna crap all over?
Well,
all of it.
Yeah, but for those of us, it'll like right here. This is like the finer
fun.
This is the Finer Things Club on The Office, and Johnny's gonna be Jim trying to
see. But even that analogy, he hates, not analogy, I guess, comparison. He hates The Office. So, like, this is the Finer Things Club. Get him out of it. He can't join the Finer Things Club.
Yeah, I'm here for it. We're gonna hear about this later for sure. So, but yeah. So back to the question at hand, though. We've kind of all gone through like one time through. The next game for me that I would say that are must get back into, I even did not that long ago, is Fire Emblem. The 3 houses, right? That's the like 3 houses I really enjoyed.
Did you get to the time jump?
No, I haven't. I don't remember at this point. Like I don't think so. But like I have so much fun playing those games. For me, they just feel like I can really relax, and I don't like that you're not competing, you're not like, it's like relaxing time. And I haven't even touched Engage. So
Servant's talking about Engage. I fell off Engage very quickly.
I'm curious where I'll stand, but like these are, everything I've said is like beefy games though, right? Like Xenoblade, I think Crippus was like, you better carve out 300 hours if you're gonna do all the Xenoblade stuff. Like there's no question there. But
I think my timer, in-game timer, was at least at 80 on 3 when I finished it.
Yeah, because that's like playing through it like you have to play through it like 4 times, right? In order to like kind of get the full experience.
I mean, I don't know. I still have. There's still more to do even after you finish the story. It drops you, just like 2. It drops you before the final battle, and you can
Oh,
go.
I'm sorry. You said you're going back to Xenoblade. You're not
Yeah, yeah,
talking.
yeah.
I was thinking I was thinking you were talking Three Houses, like that you
Oh,
beat
well,
it
yeah,
after.
yeah. There's like 3 or 4 versions on Three
Right.
Houses. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, Servant says Tokyo Mirage Session is also another one. That's one I'm trying to get in my collection as well, like physically, because it's a little hard to come by. And a quick little side note, Gavin's friend, who he was living with in Wisconsin, is a retro game store owner called Press Start. So there's a little, if you guys are in the area, go say hi to Andy at Press Start. And he was telling me, he goes, probably the most valuable Switch game in my collection right now is Skylanders unopened.
Well, yeah, because it came out and then Toys of Life died.
Pretty much, yeah. So I was a little bit shocked by that.
Do you have like the whole like big cardboard box of it?
Yes. yeah, because it was first year. So anything first year Switch, I have
Yeah.
the whole North American release, plus some of the limited runs and the other. But I'd like, if it wasn't a retail, like a North American retail release, I wasn't super worried about it. But
how about my Galgun 2 with the Wild Guns insert? On the
yeah,
inside?
we were talking about that one as well, and it's like I don't know how to check that one without.
There's probably some serial, like the serial numbers probably have a
probably.
range.
Probably. Okay, here's a good from the chat. Cryptic says, if you're looking for mindless gameplay, Hyrule Warriors 1 on Switch. Tons of content and story is decent with tons of characters and abilities. Didn't enjoy Age of Calamity that much. Interesting.
I thought the story on Age of Calamity was better than what it was in 1. Because it had like the whole time travel aspect to it.
The only thing for me with Age of Calamity is that I was hoping it was going to tie everything together, and then to find out it was just kind of like a Legends story, more or less. I was a little bit disappointed by that. There were a few times that just the repetitiveness of it got to me, but I'll go one further, and also the Fire Emblem Warriors games. Those are also and those are fun because it's like a you've got the some of the strategy that takes place in the Fire Emblem games happening in a Warriors game. So it's like, I don't know, there's some depth there. But again,
because they only made one of those, right?
2.
For for
there's
Fire Emblem,
2 Fire Emblems and two the both of them, I believe, maybe chat can correct me, but I believe the first Fire Emblem and the first Zelda Hyrule, like both those Warriors games, were on the 3DS. And so the first one, Lacey says, when I play hack and slash, I don't expect lore. I expect fun, and it delivered. There you go. So yeah. So
3 Hopes. Yeah. I have that one. And then I bought the original one later. I have the original. I forgot about 3 Hopes. But yeah. Because that had the more recent, that had Byleth and
yep.
Yeah. I remember that now.
Yeah. So
many games, 8 years.
I mean, it is, right? It's an extensive library. So there we go. I covered the for myself anyway. The Fire Emblem games are what are definitely in that backlog. Behind me here, next to my shelf, I actually have a stack of the games that I would like to get to. Like, and I'm not joking.
Your pile of shame.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, not a small stack of games, that's for sure. So, yeah, but Crawler, how about you? What is another series or games you'd like to get into?
So I've my 3 kids. I have them, and they're all kind of getting into more stuff. I think Wario 64 put out something early this week or last week, I think, or late last week over the weekend, I got Sonic Superstar, whatever the newest one was, the side scroll 4-player thing. So I have that. I think they're all excited because I bought that. It came the day I like tore everything apart down here. So their setup of the TV down here got taken down for the last 4 days. So they haven't been able to play down here. So kind of getting that set up and maybe sitting down playing that with them. I started playing it by myself, and I think it would be a lot more enjoyable with them. Would be Mickey Mouse Isle of, is it Illusion?
Yeah.
It's like a baby's first Metroidvania. I think they would maybe enjoy playing that, and I could sit down and play that with them. So kind of just maybe finding a few games that is everybody's pace in my house and doing a little bit of that.
That's cool. Do you have any plans to play Captain Toad with them?
They've done some of Mario 3D. Is it 3D World? Right? They've done some of that. They usually end up handing me the controller, and I kind of have to figure it out for them. So, or at least my two youngest ones. But that might, how many players can you? Is it just two, or can you do more now?
No, it's just two.
Okay. Yeah, maybe. Because I don't even know if I've finished that all the way. I think I'm kind of close, but that would be worth that. That's another one worth just putting back in.
Well, and with the kids, Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, because you can also just have them bubble in areas that are more difficult, you know, or allow them to take turns bubbling to where somebody else can attempt. But then 3D World for 4-player is
and I've played through with my girls on that a little bit.
Yeah. So those are great. And then I mean, going all the way back, it wasn't like, you know, like raved over, but Kirby, what was it? Allies, the Star Allies, right?
Yeah.
Was also 4 players. So another one
play Kirby Return to Dreamland Deluxe. That's gonna be the better 4-player experience.
Oh, it has 4-player also.
I'm pretty sure it does.
And that's where they all get abilities too, I think.
Gotcha. Yeah, so there you go. That's good. Cryptic's asking if anybody played through Wonder with multiplayer with family, and yes, I played with my nephew and his dad, and I think my niece at the same time. And so it honestly felt like it made me wish that they had just done multiplayer for Wonder, just like couch co-op, because it's not quite as enjoyable having the ghosts versus being able
for
to
online.
Kind of,
is that what you're talking about?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, and we did it at Nintendo Live, right? And there was just being able to because I don't even know if online, if they're a ghost, if they're Yoshi, I don't think you can ride them. Right?
So the online, we've raced each other online since we've been home.
Yeah.
But yeah, what we were doing at PAX was just a lot more fun just there on the couch.
Servant says I still need to get Wonder. New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe made me worried about 2D Mario, which is interesting because I thought 2D the Deluxe U was it was the best one of the new series in my opinion. It felt, I remember when I opened it up on the Wii U for the first time, other than it having that weird plastically look to it, it felt like it felt the most like going back to that one.
I think I did Mario and I did Luigi on that one.
Oh yeah, Luigi U is also if you want stress, play that one for sure. So yeah. Cheesy, are you up on I think you're up next, right? Yeah, you're up.
Yeah, I mean we kind of already talked about it, but there's a ton of Zelda games that I need to go and play. Star Fox, I tried playing Star Fox 64. And maybe it's just the controls on NSO that I still don't understand how to figure out the buttons from an N64 to a Pro controller. Just doesn't make sense to me. because they don't tell you like what buttons are what. They're just like, you figure it
Yes.
out.
Your right stick should be your C buttons.
Is that what it is?
Should be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I mean, that I was talking to my brother about this because he's like, I tried to play because he loved Perfect Dark, which again was kind of news to me. We probably played, but it was so long ago that we were talking about it. I'm like, we had to have played together. He's like, I'm sure we did. But he's like, I want to play Perfect Dark again, and I wanted to play GoldenEye. But he goes, I could not. And I said, well, I have a video on how to do GoldenEye to where you can, make the controller exactly how you need it to be. But then it got me thinking about all the buttons, all the games that use those C buttons. It's almost like having the 64 controller is almost like having the old Sega Genesis controller that had 6 buttons that ran in a row. That's for some of those, if you take the wrestling games from back in the day, you were using those as buttons, not like a directional.
That was like pad. Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So it just interesting that maybe they shouldn't, and maybe who knows? I'd have to go in and look, but I feel like there's not a lot of here's your button mapping for playing these games. They're just kind of thrown here you go. Good. Buy our controller that's always sold out.
Yeah.
So
but it's interesting when you think about how many games there are for Nintendo series that I don't know, there's Zelda, Mario, Animal Crossing, Splatoon, those are the big 4. Then you have Star Fox, Xenoblade, Metroid, Fire Emblem. I know that sounds like a lot, but when you think about all of the games that they have put out and how short those games probably are, it's probably pretty easy to go back and play some of the series that you need to catch up on.
Yes, and in some cases no, only because even though the games are technically shorter, their difficulty ramped up.
True.
In some cases, and not only because of design, but sometimes just the lack of The Legend of Zelda is kind of tricky because you've got to make sure that you're pretty precise with some of your attacks because you're essentially attacking in 4 directions. And so you've got to, not have your sword out when somebody throws a spear or an arrow so that you can deflect with your shield and just things like that make it make it a little trickier. And it's there's a random tree that you can catch on fire and it will open a cave and you're like, what? Wait, what?
Some of the stuff you usually just figure out when you're frustrated and you're just throwing bombs everywhere, and then you hear a little jingle and you're like, oh, okay. I guess that worked.
Yes.
That's the solution for Metroid. When in doubt, bomb everything.
God. I honestly don't know how people figured out Metroid back in the day.
Chat asked me to dab. Sorry, I think somebody did coins for it, but I can't see that on this end. If in our version of chat, I can't see anything that happens. So they're just you're supposed to dab, fake a sneeze, do something. So sorry for the distraction there, but all right. Any others? I want to just mention a few from the chat because there were some. I got to scroll up, but I know Jenna said Life is Strange, and looking through here that somebody else mentioned the Braid, which fantastic. You guys, I cannot recommend that game enough. That was one that just when you got to the end, you were like, no way. It will, and it doesn't take a super long time to beat it. And really, really, really good. Highly, highly recommend. So I'm kind of just scrolling back.
I think it's on Switch, but I think I have it free other places as well. But Gone Home, isn't that very highly regarded? I haven't played it.
What's that?
It's a walking simulator, but puzzle.
I believe it is. Yes, yeah. I think it's and I mean we haven't even touched on a lot of indies, but Grease and
what is the new one? Nevea or
the one that was just shown at Summer Game Fest.
Yeah, Neva, something like that.
Yeah.
Looks great.
Jenna's saying Ace Attorney, which honestly, guys,
Objection.
you will never get the joy of Ace Attorney outside of playing it on a 3DS that you would get, or a regular DS out
Yelling at your
on the
microphone.
Switch. Yes, because you could literally yell objection, and it would trigger Ace to scream that. But yeah, those games are so much fun. Just trying to solve the different crimes and murders and all that kind of stuff. Like so good, so good. Jenna also says Stardew Valley. And Joey said Ukulele is a good 3D platformer if you like Banjo-Kazooie. And I believe there's a 2D version of Ukulele also that was done fairly well that people enjoy.
The Impossible Lair, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
I think I have that one too. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna keep putting some lists together of some of these games. We'll keep chatting about this. It's extensive, guys. Blaster Master Zero were early games on the Switch, and then Blaster Master Zero 2, which is such a funny name for a game, but those were and I believe you can play the first Blaster Master on NSO also, so you can kind of get the whole trilogy of games there.
And if you want a real challenge, make a Japanese account, and then you can just play games in Japanese as well and not know what's happening. They have some different games on there.
Cryptic mentioned Katana Zero. Joey said Ukulele Impossible Lair. That's the 2D. And Krimpus said they announced a Ukulele remake as well.
They did. It's called Yuka Replayly.
Wow. That is funny. So, well, that is going to do it for us tonight. We want to say thank you to everybody here with us live. Thank you for listening wherever you listen. We appreciate you all so very much. And we got nothing but love for you guys, and we will see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.